I think with the crisis that's happening at the moment, the way we need to approach to change is to welcome it and to see it as an opportunity. This is a way in which we can do things which we've never done before. It's a way in which we can seize new opportunities and maybe meet new client needs. So I think we should embrace it. I think it's quite difficult for Romania to embrace a crisis at the moment. If we look at today, we know that the recent Prime Minister has had a vote of no confidence. You've had more debt than ever before. Unemployment is going to be like 10.5%, and the level of mortgage which is funded by external finance is higher than it's ever been before. So this makes quite a difficult situation. However, I don't think this is the end. We see companies responding quite adequately. So Vodafone, Romania, for example, or Petronon. Yeah, that's another company which has been doing these sorts of things. Mittal Steel is another company which has been able to respond. So I think there are signs of green shoots and hope that this is not the end, but maybe the beginning of the recovery. The usual thing is changes in the external environment. And no more have we seen this in Romania or Eastern Central Europe or other parts of the world than now. What companies need to be able to do is to really spot what's going on before things happen. And what happened, I think, now is that we were kind of fooled by the increase in the kind of economy and not really expecting that the bubble would burst. And I think that's what we should have been able to do and to be able to respond in that way. You know. Based on some research that we've done, we know there are 5 factors which tell us whether companies are ready for change or not. So the first one is, do they scan the environment? You know, do they look out and understand what's going on? Look at their customers, compare their competitors. So that's the first thing. Secondly is to have what we call insights. So it's not enough just to scan the environment. We also need to make sense of it. So that's sense making and saying, aha, what this means for us is that we need to go into a new market. Yeah. The third thing is to explore the extent to which they're creative. You know, are companies creative, or do they retreat back to the way they've always done things? We also look at the organisational culture. Is it ready? And finally, what are the structures within the organisation? When you put those 5 things together and we can measure them, you can tell whether organisations, A, have the ability to change, but also whether they'll perform better than their other competitors. What we've found, again from our research, is the answer is yes. Yeah. We've looked at companies, and not only do they have increases in performance, but also they're able to change not just once, but change again and again. And this is what we find those companies which we would describe as adapters are able to do it frequently and with skill. So I think the answer is yes. The real issue is people. Yeah. So imagine you're about to change. You've lived in a comfort zone for the best part of 5 or 6 years, and suddenly somebody's asking you to do something completely different. And in that sense, people resist because of emotional reasons or because they can't think of the way of being in a different place. And it's the people that make it so difficult. It's critical for them because managers create value for companies. Without value, then there is no need for companies to exist. And without value, shareholders will be unhappy. And through creating change, you create value through doing things quicker, doing things faster, meeting new market needs, and, if you like, bringing people together around a common aim. For sure, there will be resistance. There's no doubt about that. But if you involve people in the whole thing, then they're more likely to help rather than be just resistance for the sake of it. Size per se is not the issue. Yeah. Smaller companies will be more nimble, yeah, but it tends to be where companies are in their life cycle. So if they're in the early stages of their life cycle, they will tend to be more buoyant. Yeah. If they're in the more mature stage of their life cycle, then they tend to have more problems. And what is incumbent on the leaders of those companies is to renew them and revive them. And in that sense, they can come back again. So, for example, PricewaterhouseCoopers in the UK is what I would describe as a mature company. Yeah, in this environment, they've been able to respond in a helpful and progressive way. For those CEOs that are looking at me, these are the things I would suggest. First and foremost, make sure that you are constantly scanning your environment and creating scenarios for what might be out there. Secondly, to take your people with you. Thirdly, to have a clear view about where you're going and particularly think about the long term. And finally, see the changes as an opportunity rather than something that's going to be difficult or hard for your company. Good luck.